need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
Let's start with Libu's question. She's writing from Houston, Texas. She writes, "Hi Betsy, I am in contract for a white house or for this house with white windows, excuse me. However, I am obsessing over another house that has black windows. Is it okay for me to paint these vinyl windows black? I only want to paint the exterior black trim because I think it's going to significantly elevate my curb appeal." Well, Libu, thank you so much for sending pictures. They really help to illustrate not only the current state of your house, but also that aspirational look you're going for. So, your current home is like an off-white stucco that has some kind of squares, or not square, excuse me, rectilinear stone detailing in the front. It's overall cream, but it has like a black brown sort of roof, a black brown front door, as well as garage door. And right now, as you mentioned, the windows are trimmed in a white vinyl. The picture you sent me is a very similar home stylistically. Truly, the only difference in terms of the touch points I just talked about is that these windows are indeed framed in black. Now, as you know, I focus mainly on the interior, not typically on the exterior. So I don't know all the ins and outs of painting things. But that's why Google is here. So I completely agree with you that the curb appeal of the second home is much more exciting, dynamic, just better, right? But painting vinyl windows, according to thefamilyhandyman.com, is a hot mess. And it's very hard to paint the vinyl. It typically peels. It's very hard to get it to adhere. You have to use not only a special paint, which Benjamin Moore does offer for painting vinyl, but you also have to use a very heavy duty primer, because not only are you painting vinyl, which is not recommended because it really is not meant to be a paintable surface, but you're painting exterior vinyl, which is going to be exposed to the elements. Especially in Houston, you're going to get a lot of heat. You're going to get some moisture. You're going to get some rain. And I'm just worried that the integrity of this paint is going to be compromised. The other thing that gives me pause is that whenever we're painting something a very dark color, whether it's an interior wall that you're going to make navy, whether it's an exterior window that you're going to paint black, you have to do so in an absolutely perfect manner. Any imperfection, any bobble, any shift as you're painting is going to be very conspicuous because the contrast is going to be so high, either between the ceiling and this dark wall color or between this cream stucco and this dark vinyl color. So I'm just concerned that not only will it look shabby over time, it may look shabby the minute you do it if you're not super precise. These are my concerns. I am excited for you because I love the look, but I would be interviewing contractors or painters with, this sort of keeping it real mentality of how precise are you? What would you be using to paint it? Is there a guarantee in any way that you could give me? Because it may turn out to be kind of an expensive endeavor, and I would want you to not regret this decision. A big thank you to Aton and the Embassy, who wrote our theme song. A shout out to Catherine Heller, who owns the podcast shop and is our editor extraordinaire. We also want to thank Ginny Sunasan and her team at the Savvy Podcast Agency for their help with our social, our YouTube channel, and so much more. We also want to thank Uploft, which is our parent company who supports this podcast. And lastly, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all your support.